Hi everyone! In today's video I'm going to be showing you my new Patrick Ta Major Dimensions eyeshadow duos, as well as showing you my new winter lipsticks, so watch on! Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that I've collaborated with Ideal Jewellery for this section of the video. Now, I probably don't have to tell you that even fledgling channels like mine get contacted quite a lot actually by all sorts of brands, and I have basically said no to all of them because my premise is if I'm not interested or excited, or preferably both, then chances are you won't be either. With Ideal, I thought that something very interesting had come along. Check these out. So I'm wearing one of their designs. Now what's interesting about them is their modular design. So I basically chose a stud earring, and you can choose from small, medium and large, and of course I chose large because I want more dazzle in my life, if possible, every single time. And then I chose a design which basically clicks onto the back of the post of the stud, and then you get a different look. You can kind of ring the changes. So for example, this morning when I went out for my run, I just wore the studs for that kind of, you know, my earlobes but better kind of look. So I was just wearing that and a bit of mascara, and it didn't make me run any faster, but I felt better. I did. I had a bit more of a spring in my step this morning when I put those trainers on. But anyway, then for my working day, it meant that I could then add this lovely modular diamond hoop for a kind of more elevated look and an even more luxurious look. I really, really love them. Now, they're made of 14 karat gold, so they are solid gold, and they use lab-grown diamonds, which actually I hadn't appreciated what a lab-grown diamond was, but they are chemically identical to mined diamonds. That's the science bit over. That's pretty much all I'm capable of. But here's what you need to know. You basically get all the sparkle, all the dazzle, without the associated expense, plus of course they are completely ethically sourced. So that's a good plus as well. Now, the range is absolutely enormous. There's necklaces, there's beautiful earrings to choose from, there's lots and lots of choice. When I actually opened my package, and you'll see some footage here, it's absolutely beautiful. The packaging and the way everything is presented is in a kind of modern and fresh way, but it's still really luxurious, just absolutely lovely. And I have to say, and you probably know me well enough by now if you've been on this channel before, I'm kind of already planning my purchase to add to these lovely studs, so like to get sort of an extra design. Basically, there is so much to choose from, and so much of their kind of design concept is just an interesting kind of twist on something that we know and love. So in my case, you probably know if you've seen me before, I really do enjoy a hoop earring. Small, large, I'm not that bothered, but I just like a hoop earring, and I do love some sparkle. Here, we're getting this kind of twist because there's this sort of fun gap in between the stud and the hoop. So it's just a little bit more modern without it being kind of maybe too over the top for someone like me who's actually I'm quite a conservative dresser in a way. Plus also I want all my jewellery to kind of go together, and these have fitted in seamlessly with the rings that I wear, you know, the bracelets that I stack, everything kind of matches and goes together. I should say that the gold that I chose is the rose gold because I did kind of think that would be fun for the winter time when I tend to wear sort of higher necks and, you know, polo necks and so on. So I just thought it would just give it a slightly warmer look. But actually, while it does give me a slightly warmer look, it still has blended in perfectly with my other kind of yellow gold jewellery. I just absolutely love it. The idea of being able to wear more jewellery that all goes together is absolutely delightful. And this modular design, you know, I'm already a big fan. So anyway, check out the links, have a little browse, see what you think. I'd like to know what you think actually, so let me know in the comments down below. And now, onto the makeup. I'm a real fan of Patrick Ta's Major Dimension eye duos, and I own two, so I was super excited that he brought two more out. Now I have bought two so that they would complement my other two, and I will show you the swatches of everything. This is Slow Burn, And this one is, if I can open it, When the Sun Sets. So this one's When the Sun Sets. That's what they look like. Now, if you've not used these before, or they've not really been on your radar particularly, these are highly pearlized duos, which you can either use as, I was going to say a wash of colour, that's kind of not representative, but a very sort of sheer scattering of sparkle, or you can apply a slightly more dense application and you'll get a lot more intensity. Now, you can tell which side of that fence I lie on. However, what I would say is the fallout is pretty much minimal and you can just use your finger. So in terms of taking them away with you on holiday or whatever, or just to slip into your work bag because you want to kind of zhuzh things up for the evening, super easy. You don't really need a brush. I am wearing at the moment Slow Burn, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to wear Slow Burn to show you the cooler lipstick shades, and then I'll apply When the Sun Sets for the warmer lipstick shades. So take a look at this close up. All I have done is put the lighter shade on the inner corner, and then on the lid and the outer corner I've got the darker shade. Let me put it like this so you can have a look. I have put some eyeliner on because I'm sort of slightly in love with this Dolce & Gabbana liquid liner, which I kind of got in the gifts in the Dolce & Gabbana, it's not so much a gift set, it's a coffret, it's a Christmas box. And I'm kind of surprised how much I like it. So I have been kind of experimenting with it. So I've got that on, and then underneath my eyes, I just used a bit of the Natasha Denona in this medium shade, just to give me a bit of definition. And the mascara that I've used, also Dolce & Gabbana, and this has blown me away. This is a small size of their mascara, but it's so smooth and so lovely. So that's all I've got on. But you can see the sparkle, hopefully, can't you? There's sort of, when he calls them major dimension, there is a lot of dimension. It's not a flat sparkle. So you don't need, in my case, certainly, I don't feel I need to put a darker shade to kind of define the eye. They sort of, the dimensional quality of them is kind of enough. They're super easy to apply. I cannot emphasize this enough if you've not used them before. Honestly, finger, smudge, that's it. And then smudge the same finger in the slightly deeper shade and put a bit more on. It's just, you know, it's idiot proof. And I do like, what I really appreciate actually is there's no thinking involved. That's the truth of it. They arrived yesterday. I couldn't wait to actually put something on my eyelid. Now, I didn't try the other one first. I was very attracted to this one. And all I did with my finger is put the darker one just on the lid. And even that is just lovely. That's enough, you know? They're really good. I really like these. And they're kind of nifty because you still get a mirror. It's usable if you use it laterally like this. And they're kind of quite cute, you know. Easy. Here are finger swatches. When the Sun Sets, and here we have Slow Burn. So that's Slow Burn over here, saying hello to you. And here is When the Sun Sets. What's that? Finger puppets. So can you see that this one, Slow Burn, there's a little bit of burgundy shot through that bronze. It's got that pinky tone to it. We'll see how you feel it translates onto the eyes. And here, When the Sun Sets, it's very much a kind of peachy, goldy colour story. But this one's much lighter. And now, if you look at them on the back of my hand, let's see what you think there. So we've got When the Sun Sets at the top, and then Slow Burn at the bottom. I mean, they are very different. I have to say, out of the 4 colour stories, these were the 2 that really, really jumped out at me. Because as I've mentioned, the other 2 that I've got, I kind of felt from last year, I sort of had those colour stories kind of covered, at least for an initial purchase. Who knows what I'll be tempted by in the future? But you can certainly see that high pearlescent finish. And with certainly the lighter shades, they're almost wet look. Well, they are wet look, aren't they? Now it does occur to me that along with these, I should show you my existing shades as well and look at the difference. So this one is called Still at the Club, and this one is Talk to My Team. Now you can see with Talk to My Team, I'm just pointing it out. I know it's last year's release, but in case you've not seen these before, this has got very much a gold to pinky shift. And the other thing I should say about Still at the Club, this isn't a matte, but it's absolutely not as sparkly as its brother or sister. So that's the difference. These are the two of the new ones, sorry, at the top. They are way more sparkly than the two that I've got from the first release. And the other thing that you should know is when I feel them sort of under my finger, the new ones do feel more sort of not so much gritty, but a bit rougher. But they're not rough on the eyelids, but you can definitely feel there's more sparkly content, as it were. That's something to aim for, isn't it? A sparkly content creator. Okay, let's try them on. Now, I should confess to you that the lipstick I'm wearing is not one that was meant to feature in today's video because it's not a new lipstick at all. But I was about to take it off, and so I could, we could talk about the first lipstick. But actually, let me just tell you anyway. It's Estee Lauder. It's irresistible. It's called Irresistible. I find it irresistible because I find this the easiest colour in the world to wear, and I've worn it for ages, and this is the one that they seem to give in free gifts a lot in duty free. How do I know that? Anyway, I've got it written down here. It is, I've had to look it up. It's got pure colour, it's 440, and I call it a pinky nude, but on the Lauder website, it is described as a dusty mauve with a neutral undertone. I put my puffer jacket on a couple of days ago and there was a lipstick in there, and it was basically one of these. I do have a couple of these on the go. One of them was a free gift. This is the newer one, which is the one I'm showing you. I sort of just put it on, and then I remembered, of course, that's kind of one of my sort of winter staples. It's not particularly groundbreaking. It's just a really easy colour, and it's a lovely formula. So I thought I'd share it with you in the interests of something. I was going to say transparency, but it's not. It's just that I had it on, and so there you go. So this, I suppose, is lipstick number one, but it wasn't meant to be on the list. But I do really like it. I know it's not very exciting. I should tell you the price, and the price is £35, which, let me tell you, is at the lower end of what we're looking at today. So I'm going to take this off, and I will show you the first official lipstick. Let's kick off officially with a little bit of Hermès. What better place to start? Anyway, this is actually the first beauty product from Hermès that I've ever bought. I honestly thought I was going to buy the eyeshadows, and I was a bit underwhelmed by the new release, so I didn't, and a couple of the shades didn't actually show up on me. So I've got this one. This one is called Rose Mauve, and it is quite sheer, but I thought it would be fun. Now, I should tell you, I have lined my lips, and this is probably the lip liner I'm going to use mostly throughout the video. This is Dior 300 Nude Style. I think this goes with everything, or maybe I just make it, maybe it doesn't go with everything, and as far as I'm concerned, that's all I need to do. But it is fine. I find it easy. Anyway, this one is limited edition, as you probably know, because their recent range came out, what, maybe 4 weeks ago? And it's £66, refillable, described as deep pink tinged with a veil of mauve. Okay, so let's see. That's what that looks like. I actually find this a very, again, not unlike the Lauder, but, sorry Hermès, but I find it a very usable colour. Whether it's going to be moisturising enough to get me through to the dead of winter, time will tell. But at the end of the day, it's just one lipstick. This is refillable, but of course we won't be able to get the actual lipstick colour itself. But I do like the slightly cool packaging, which is kind of, I mean, it reminds me of Mondrian, but I realise it's kind of Mondrian with circles, which kind of negates the Mondrian. Wasn't he neoplasticism, I think he called it. But anyway, it kind of negates the Mondrian kind of quality, but it has got squares. It's just a bit Mondrian-like to me, at any rate. Have you tried this formula? Because I would like to know from you how moisturising you find it. I have to say, I like the slip on the lips, but I've not worn this out and about and in, you know, in real life. But the shade, I like. What do you think? As I said, it's my first Hermès lipstick, so, or lip product, I should say. So I have to say, I do like the case, kind of against my better judgment. I do like it. And I like the way they've got the sort of the Hermès symbol here, which is, you know, just to remind us where our £66 is going, should we need reminding. In keeping with the French theme from Hermès, we have Avenue Montaigne by Laura Mercier. So that's what this looks like. It's one of the Caviar lipsticks that came out earlier this year, I feel. Now, this shade, I'm going to show it to you under the other two. So the top is the Interloper Lauder, the middle is the Hermès, and below is the Laura Mercier. Now this, as I said, it's called Avenue Montaigne. It's number 191, and it's a pinky nude, but it does seem to me to be more blue than the Lauder at the top. But the thing is, I want to start wearing deeper lipstick. So this was me kind of slowly getting into deeper lipsticks. You'll see later, they're quite a lot deeper. Now, regardless of what the brands tell us, even if they say to us it's one swipe, I never do one swipe. I sort of keep going. I'm like that with mascara as well. I kind of keep going until I keel over or my lashes collapse. Partly because with a lipstick, I really want that creamy, moisturising kind of fix, you know? I want to feel it. I was going to say it's a bit like, and I'm wrong, it's a bit like when you go for a massage. You kind of want to feel it, just a smidge of pain to know that it's kind of going to be good for you. And while this is not a painful experience, I kind of feel that I want to kind of engage with the product and get it onto my lips and get it so that it can fill the, you know, the lines that I've always had actually, because my lips are dry. But anyway, this is Avenue Montaigne, so that's very nice. I can sort of imagine myself walking through all the lovely boutiques. That goes rather well with the eyeshadow, doesn't it? What do you think? I like the depth of this. I like the fact that it's still a nude. For me, I class these as nudes. I know they're not, but I class them as kind of lip colour shades that are kind of my lips but better, and then now today on this one it's deeper. So I do like these shades. They're so easy to wear. I should tell you that everything I talk about today is listed in the description box down below. The links are affiliated, so I will earn a small commission, which will help keep this channel, you know, going and the fun flowing. And oh, that rhymed. Rhyming couplets are free on this channel. Oof, how about that? Anyway, this is Avenue Montaigne. I do like it. I do realise this is not a new lipstick, but it is new to me. And I have to say, this kind of cream lipstick, I believe, really comes into its own in autumn, winter, because that's when our lips kind of need it. And for me, in the Northern Hemisphere, this is what I need. Quite cool packaging though. And I like the way it's got the little bit of metallic, and it does that thing. Not metallic, magnetic. Can you see? Science is just not my forte. But I'm going to do that again because I enjoyed it so much. So look, there you go. You do get that. I do realise it's the magnets that stop things being recyclable, I think. Let's go on to the next one. Now we have a little bit of Tom Ford, which I'm going to have to censor. Very tedious. I was umming and eyeing over buying one of these Tom Ford fabulous lipsticks because, to be honest, the name I just found annoying. I did. I'm sorry to be a party pooper, but I just found it annoying. At any rate, the last thing I need, amongst all my other problems, is for YouTube to be censoring me. So I am self-censoring for once in my life and just calling it fabulous. At any rate, there are 10 shades, as you may or may not know, and I just want to draw your attention, in case you've not seen this. Look at the way the bullet is shaped. I mean, that is going to be so easy to apply. Can you see that point? Really lovely. This is F4 Cerise, and it is described as a mauve pink or mauve pink. I'm going to try it now. Let's do it. Now, it's a particularly unique texture, formula rather, in that what they say is it's a solid to liquid formula and it feels unique as it goes on. You really notice that. It's definitely got that. It's drying down now. It feels really slippy, not so much liquidy, but it's got real slip as you put it on. And now I can feel it's drying. And it's meant to dry to a semi-matte luminous finish. Let's see how luminous it is. They say it's all day wear and it has melting emollients. Ooh. I think the shade name is about right, isn't it? A mauve pink, in that it does stop shy of having the electric punch of a fuchsia. Should we put a bit more on? I feel I've only just put one. I've done the one swipe thing. You know, it's not good for me. In the end, it probably won't be good for my health. That's rather nice. Now, it's slightly brighter than I would wear in the winter. However, I do kind of feel again with these eyeshadows, why not? What do you think? Is it a bit bright for winter? I think it could be quite nice with sort of, you know, wearing black or navy. I mean, you know, with denim, it's a bit me trying to be a rock chick. And believe me, I was never a rock chick. Does that surprise you? Does it? Never. But maybe actually now's the time to really embarrass my children. Ooh, payback time. I don't know. But anyway, my point is, I like it. I want to know what you think though, because it does feel brighter than I'd wear before. The formula feels lovely. The only thing is I can't tell whether this is going to be drying or not. The way it goes on is not the way it feels when it's on the lips. It is, I should say, it's super comfortable now, but I can feel it's slightly dry. Now, it may be that because it's a matte finish, that's just the finish and that's fine. The question is, will it dry my lips out? You know, I believe them when they say they've got emollients. The question is it enough? So time will tell. I'll keep wearing it and I'll keep you updated. But what do you think? Yeah, I'd like to know what you think, because as I said, it's a kind of unusual colour for me. I'm going to put this now next to Laura Mercier Hermès. That's Tom Ford. Then you've got Laura Mercier, then you've got Hermès, and right at the top you've got the Lauder. It's got a cool case as well, this one, this kind of leather feel to it. It looks like it's going to be padded, but it's not. It's still got the TF at the base, and that's just the shade name there. But it's got, you know, I do prefer this packaging to the black and the gold or the white and the gold, which I find slightly annoying. And also I don't like the hard edges of that, whereas somehow this feels a bit softer, although it looks like it's the same mold. Now, onto the final one in these cool shades, which I'm slightly scared of. See what you think. Now, I've got a delightful Prada red, which for me is a new departure, but as I've said, I am branching out. Oh yes. So this is R28 and it's called Fuoco. It's a hyper matte and it looks, I'm so looking forward to this. It looks like that. Now, you may have watched my video on the Dolce & Gabbana cool palette that I made about probably, what was that, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and they'd given me a sort of little tester lipstick kit, and on that video I tried the 2018 in the satin finish, and while I liked the colour ish, I kind of thought, oh, it did look nicer than I thought it would. The lipstick itself was just not moisturising enough, whereas I know that these Prada Hyper Mattes really suit me and they're great. So I've chosen a colour actually very, very close to the 2018 from Dolce & Gabbana, and I do really like it. As I was taking off the Tom Ford lipstick, I should say, I thought, oh my goodness, this is really going to clash with the eyeshadow. So I'm going to do something cheeky. I'm just going to take my Byredo palette and take this and pop this on top just to get rid of the pink, as it were, because I just want to show you what this lipstick looks like, and we don't want it clashing with the pink because I think that's a little bit unfair to the lipstick as well as to the eyeshadows. Gosh, this is nice. Oh, I never thought of just using it like that, just across the eyelid. Let me show you, let me just bring you up closer. That's rather nice. I know it's rough and ready, but you know, that's me. I think that's quite nice. Okay. I mean, it's one of those that if you were close up, you'd be sort of, oh, what's she done to her eyes? It looks awful. But I think I kind of quite like the, it's got the winky quality, hasn't it? Oh yes. Anyway, right, let us put this on. Now these are refillable, as you know, they've been out for a while. All day, non-drying, and a sophisticated finish. £40 and the refills are £32. I thought it was close enough to the 2018, which I liked as a shade in the Dolce and Gabbana, but I prefer this formula. I do apologise because I always have to open my mouth in order to put lipstick on because I want to get in all the little crevices, but I do realise it's kind of, you know, nobody needs to look at that. These are fragranced. I happen to like the fragrance, but they are fragranced. I just want to make sure I don't look too much, you know, like the Joker, you know? I don't feel I need that in my life as well. That's handy, isn't it? I got it on my nose as well. There you go. Do you think I'm not used to wearing red lipstick? What do you think? I do like it. I do wonder what you think though. Is it a bit much? I don't know. I always think that red is so sophisticated, and because I don't see myself as kind of a sophisticated person, you know, there always seems to be a bit of a mismatch there. I do like the shade, I have to say. But I also like it with the eyeshadow. I do realise this is not a video for this eyeshadow. And I do apologise for going off-piste. What do you think? If you've got a favourite red lipstick, let me know what it is. Because this could be the start of something. You just never know, you know? You just never know, like falling in love with a skydiver or something, you know? Maybe it would open up a whole new vista for how I see myself. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and take the lipstick off, take the eyeshadow off, put the, what's it called? When the Sun Sets. Okay, When the Sun Sets. I'm going to put this on and then you'll be able to see it on my eyelids, and then we'll do a little bit of warm lipstick as well. So let me bring you closer and tell you about this eyeshadow, because there was quite a bit of fallout, and the fallout was from the lighter of the two shades. So I have cleaned it up, but if you look closely, it's still kind of, I don't know whether you can see that. There's a little smattering. Now, whether that's going to get worse as we go on, time will tell. The other thing I should tell you is, for me at least, both of these colours, they're lovely on, but there's not enough depth to to this deeper one. So to that end, I deepened only this side so I can show you with a bit of this one here. And you'll be able to see it here, because what I did is I deepened it up and I put the eyeliner on. The other side doesn't have the deeper shade, doesn't have the Natasha Denona, and doesn't have any eyeliner, so you can see a sort of a before and after. So this one is with the eyeliner, there you go, and this one is without. That might be enough for you. I think for me, I do need that depth. So what I'm going to do is, off camera, I'm going to go and deepen up this side so it sort of matches, put a little bit of eyeliner on, and then I will come back and we will start on the warm lipsticks. Oh, and the fallout, we're just going to have to keep an eye on. Okay, I've evened up my eyes. While I was fiddling about with this side, getting it to match this side, I didn't notice any more fallout, but I did sort of clean up. Let's see how it goes. I'll bring you in close up. I don't think you can see much fallout now, maybe a little bit, but let's see how it is at the end after we've sort of tested these lipsticks. But so far so good. Anyway, this is what When the Sun Sets looks like. I really should tell you though that in terms of the texture, if you had bought the first shade range, you know, the back end of last year, these are different. These have definitely got more texture to them. You don't feel it when you apply it on your eyes. I haven't noticed that, but it's not got the same smoothness, but there's a lot more sparkle. So maybe it's horses for courses. Over to you. Let me know what you think. And actually, these are, you know, is this a range that you like? And were you pleased to see more shades? I mean, I have to say, of the two, I do like both. I'm happy with both of the ones I bought, as long as the fallout on this doesn't continue to be epic. Let's see. Okay, so lipsticks. I have gone slightly bananas on the Rouge Dior on stage recently. Now this one is, which one is this? This is Wild Rosewood. So they are long lasting, there's no doubt about it. However, they've got a lovely shine to them. Here you are. The shine does wear off, but I find that the lipstick itself does adhere to my lips. I've worn this a few days and I do really like it. So let's give this a go. I love the shade as well. I've already lined with the Dior. Now, these are meant to be one swipe, but I don't think they are. I really don't. Not just because I like putting it on. I just don't think they are. I think it helps to give it a little bit of a go. The thing that I love about this formula, and it's a real win for me, is it seems to fill my lines. I don't think it's meant to do that, but it does definitely give me a smoother lip finish than is kind of representative of my lips, if that makes sense. But I do really like this. I like the colour as well. What do you think? I find it a very usable and easy colour. It's slightly brighter than I might normally wear, but it's still within my comfort zone. And I do like the delivery system. The lid's a bit annoying because you've got to get it on the right. Actually, yeah, you've got to get it on the right side. It doesn't, not all four corners or not all four sides fit the front of where you want to kind of clip it on. So that one doesn't fit, but then you turn it around and that one does. And you've got to snap it shut because they've got to stay moist. As, by the way, and I should have mentioned it, the Tom Ford, the Cerise, you have to click the lid because it's very much a formula that has to stay away from the elements, as it were. So this is Wild Rosewood. It's very comfortable, I have to say. It doesn't feel sticky. It's lovely. I mean, I do like it. I'm not the biggest Dior fan in the world, but when they make a good lip product, it's a good lip product, in my opinion. Now I've got another 2 Dior products to show you, as well as one more quite special item. The next lipstick is Berry Attitude, also in the same formula, however, much more of a, that's Berry Attitude there, much more of a deeper browny kind of chestnut colour with a bit of red in it. It's rather nice. I do like this. It's described as a bluish red brown, and I think that's a really good description because it's got a sort of, it's got a bit of everything in there. It's reddish, it's brownish. The bluiness does definitely cool it down, but it's still, I don't know. For me, it doesn't feel really cool. It feels, I would wear this as a warm shade. I wear so much brown in the winter and kind of browns and kind of light beiges and that kind of thing. I would wear it with that. Yeah, no, I really like this. What do you think? It's funny, isn't it? It's got a slight wine quality to it as well. And, you know, it's got a good shine. You do have to reapply throughout the day, but it's not like a lip gloss or anything like that. It's just, and your lips are stained. It's just that the gloss bit sort of does start to wear off, but there's definite depth there. It's a lovely formula. It's lovely and moisturising and creamy. And as I said, the win for me, which I did not expect, is that it fills the lines in my lips. So I get this very kind of smooth feel to it. I don't know. I would imagine for some people it might feel a bit waxy or sort of slightly plasticky, but for me I find that a very comforting feel because, as I said, it's very smooth on the lips. On to the next one. This is the Lip Maximizer in Sunlit Amber. I was not going to buy this, but a lovely viewer recommended it, and actually I'm so pleased I've got it. I do really like this formula. The only thing I don't like about this formula is the fragrance, the smell. It's got like a minty fragrance that I just don't like the smell of mint, that's all. I mean, mint as in not the herb, but everything else, like mints and all of that kind of stuff. But anyway, I get over it apparently, so it's fine. This is what it looks like. Let's put that against the others so you can see. It's got a little bit of sparkle in it, but it's not so much that it puts me off. It's got a little bit of gold running through it, but as I said, it's not frost and it's not shimmer. It's just a little bit, a hint. Okay, let's do it. And it is a lip, I'm just reminding you, it is a lip plumping formula. I don't notice the lip plumping in this formula, but it may be too much for you. You will know from prior experience. But for example, in my opinion, and I know that this kind of formula is very, very subjective, isn't it? Is nowhere near as punchy as the Charlotte Tilbury's. They're enormous, aren't they? And not very elegant compared to the Dior, but it's a lovely formula. But my point, well, if you can tolerate it. But in my opinion, it's not that one I do feel. I still don't mind it, but I do feel. This one I don't really notice. It just feels a bit mentholy and a bit cooly, but it's not tingly. At any rate, I don't think it's particularly lip plumping either. I don't really see that effect on me anyway, whereas with the Charlotte Tilbury I do see a slight thing going on, I think. I don't know, is it my imagination? Anyway, what do you think of this colour? I happen to really like it, and I'm so grateful because I would not necessarily have gone for it, just because I suppose it looks a little bit too sort of, I don't know, a little bit too metallic and a little bit too chestnutty, but actually I do really like it, and as I said, I like the formula anyway. They're easy to wear, these colours as well, for me. I find it just, even though there's more depth, it's still within my comfort zone. I keep saying that, but it is, yeah. I mean, these three Dior's managed to get me to try these deeper colours and not feel intimidated. So I think maybe that's why they're Dior and no one else is. Maybe there's something to do with that. Anyway, I'm going to take this off and then I want to show you the last lipstick, which for me is a kind of a new foray. And if you have bought one of these, I'll be very interested to know what you think. My last lipstick is a Guerlain Rouge G lipstick with the case. So I bought this one, which is limited edition. I really wanted it, and I was so fortunate really, because Selfridges had them in stock. The website didn't, and a couple of other places I went to didn't have it either. So I have bought the shade Satin 03 Nude Intense. So let's have a look. Now in Selfridges, they engraved it for me. So I've got my name here. You won't be able to see it, but it's basically engraved there, just in case I need reminding. Here's the shade. Now I'm going to tell you, it's only us. I know you're not going to tell anybody, but I am going to tell you the slightly bougie thing that I did. This is why I've bought this lipstick. I've bought it to put it in my little bum bag on my run. I know, because what tends to happen is I always end up doing a little bit of shopping, like food shopping or pharmacy or something, after my run. And I'm always wearing mascara. As you know from the beginning of the video, as from this morning, I was wearing my little studs. And generally I have some kind of lipstick that's kicking around the little bag, the little bum bag I have for running. But there's never a mirror. Oh yes, we are so into first world problem territory here, but I live in the first world, so I suppose it's appropriate. At any rate, that's why I bought this. So I thought I will be able to use my mirror, and I'll demonstrate it now so I can practice. Put my lipstick on. As I said, I'll have my mascara on, and then I kind of feel I can hold my head up high, even though I'll be all hot and sweaty and whatever. But this is why I bought this. I thought, oh, wonderful. Now, do you think I'm trying to justify a purchase? Yes, I am. Is there anything wrong with that? Probably not. Anyway, just thought I'd share it with you. Oh, this is creamy. This is very creamy. Okay. The fragrance is lovely. You'll hate it if you don't like fragrance, because it is very floral, but it is lovely in my opinion. I love this colour. How easy is this colour? Non-demanding. And also, if you imagine me sweaty and flushed and slightly euphoric, in deep contrast to the beginning of my run, when I'm, you know, slightly depressed and unwilling and waiting for Armageddon so I can kind of wriggle out of it, because that's really the only worthwhile excuse, isn't there? Otherwise, you know, you've got to, even if there was a zombie apocalypse, you'd be running, wouldn't you? That's the way I look at it. There's no way around it. Anyway, let me put a bit more on. This texture is lovely. It's just dreamy. And how beautiful is this? You know? I thought I wanted the leopard skin one, but I didn't like it when I was sort of in store. Whereas this, I don't know. It's kind of, I know it's a bit Days of the Rouge, but you know, yeah, I do like it. And as I said, I got my name engraved for free. I've got to work out how to open this. Oh, you've just got to pull it, I think. Yes. Oh no, you have to press the thing. I think that's what helps. No, I don't think it helps at all. I think what helps is to have practiced this before showing you. If I was really professional, I'd have done that. I think you just have to pull it. Yeah, I think you just have to pull it. And in a good way, there's mirror on both sides. So depending on how you want to use it. It's very nice. The Guerlain lipstick in total is £67 because the lipstick itself is £35 and the case is £32. You've got to buy both components in order for them to work the way they need to work. So given that the Hermès is £66, you know, you get to choose which one you think is more fun, more classy, you know, more whatever. I love the fact that there's a mirror in this. It's just a lot of fun. And honestly, my run just got a lot more motivating. So, you know, no judgment. What I will say with the Hermès, and I've only mulled it over just because this has been such a lovely kind of the experience of it is so lovely. And as we know, you know, from the Louis Vuitton, experience looks like it's something that people kind of want to pay for in the beauty world now, which, you know, it's an interesting development. How much of an experience is this for similar money? Yeah, it's in its canvas thing. I have to say, I think this is a pretty half-hearted attempt on behalf of Hermès, because the box is pretty flimsy. It's nothing like the quality of the boxes that they use for everything else. But yeah, you know, we get a bit of an Hermès fix, I suppose. But this is, you know, pretty special, and I think actually not horrendous value compared to the you know, some of the prices that we've seen in this video. So I did eschew going down the Louis Vuitton lipstick range route, simply because I haven't found a colour that excites me enough to spend that kind of money. Although when I have swatched on the back of my hand, the formula did seem particularly creamy and particularly lovely, but I haven't spent enough time for me to find a shade that really justifies that kind of cost. That's why there's not a Louis Vuitton in this video. It really has been sort of, you know, the time and the opportunity to kind of really make sure that I'm not wasting money. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Let me know which, if any, of these lipsticks did you like, and what is your fall winter lipstick? Is it something that you always kind of, you know, fall back on, or that, you know, it's sort of a staple that you rely on? A bit like with me with the Lauder Irresistible. It's not the most exciting shade, but it's fine for a jean pocket and to get me through a weekend or whatever. It's absolutely fine. Do you have one of those shades, or indeed are you somebody who likes to have a new color story for the fall winter? I'm really excited with what I've got here, particularly the Dior, particularly this Guerlain is just very, very exciting. And then, you know, for earlier on in the video, the Laura Mercier, you know, that looks to me like a very wearable shade. And the Tom Ford Fabulous lipstick, I'm excited to wear that shade of pink in the winter time. You know, why not? I'd like to give it a go. And let's not forget the Prada Bright Red. Yeah, that's quite something. You will be seeing all of these in future videos, I'm sure, and on Shorts and on Instagram. So you'll see how I get on, and you'll notice which one that I'm kind of wriggling out of using. Let's see how brave I get to be throughout the ensuing months. In terms of the Patrick Ta duos, look, Slow Burn for me is absolutely a success. There was hardly any fallout. I didn't notice anything, and the colour and the shades are they just work well together. It doesn't need any additional help, say from, you know, the Natasha Denona or anything else like that. This one did need the help, but this could well be sort of particular to the way my eyes are. So maybe for you it's absolutely fine. The more problematic thing, honestly, was the fallout. Now, if I bring you close up, let's have a look. I don't think more has fallen out. Actually, maybe a little bit has, actually. Can you see? Maybe a little bit has. You know, I'm sure I could use a fixing spray. I just don't feel I should have to at this price point, frankly. Yeah, you can, I can see it. I don't know whether you can, there is fallout. Whereas the first one, there wasn't. The reason why that concerns me is with the other two that you saw that I had from last year, there was absolutely no fallout. And I'm slightly concerned because there's clearly more pearlescent, whatever the ingredient is, which I believe is crushed pearls, but I'm sure there's other stuff as well, and, you know, who knows what they put in it. But whatever they do to give us that amazing, you know, glitter, there's definitely more in these two, at least certainly in these two colour stories than there were in the previous ones, and I'm assuming that's probably what it is. So that's kind of put me off buying a third. Having said that, this is absolutely terrific and it's very usable. So I don't know, I will carry on experimenting with this one, and I will use, seeing as I've got it, you know, I will use a fixing spray, and let's see. I would imagine that will sort the problem out, but there is fallout. We can't say there's not. Not least because I didn't just use my finger, I used a brush as well. So I did do both kind of, you know, I did use both methods, and I don't think it made that much difference. But anyway, I do want to hear whether you want to go for these and whether this is a kind of eyeshadow that you particularly like. In other words, something that's extremely shimmery and there's no matte story at all there to help you out should you want to give any kind of dimension, or maybe a little bit more subtle. So I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for joining with me. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.